Beginning. The transfer to Vera Station. The hum of Vera Station was constant, soft, mechanical, and oddly comforting to Lieutenant Aaron Vale, a human engineer recently assigned to the interspecies diplomacy hub orbiting the twin suns of Kurith. He'd been briefed that Vera was a cultural melting pot. What they hadn't told him was how literal that was. Humans were still newcomers to the Galactic Union. Curious, unpredictable, and considered primitive yet fascinating by most species. Aaron had been posted as part of a joint tech team to maintain the station's artificial gravity systems. It was a quiet job, until he met Commander Renara Velis. Renara was a Volari, one of the most graceful species in known space. Their bodies were humanoid, but evolved for low-gravity worlds, tall, silver-skinned, eyes like bioluminescent pools. Their movement flowed like liquid, their posture regal, without effort. When she entered the engineering bay for the first inspection, half the crew straightened reflexively. Aaron just stared. Not out of disrespect, but because her species' physiology fascinated him. Volari musculature adapted for both elegance and power. Her form seemed sculpted by evolution itself to balance motion in air and water. Unfortunately, to anyone else, it looked like he was staring at her rear plating. Middle, the question. The room fell silent as Renara stopped mid-sentence. Her luminous eyes turned toward him, expression unreadable. "Lieutenant Vale," she said softly, her voice carrying the calm edge of command. "Why do you stare so boldly, human?" The Thraxian assistant coughed awkwardly. Someone dropped a wrench. Aaron blinked, completely caught off guard. "Commander, it's not what it looks like." One of the junior techs muttered. "It always is." Renara tilted her head. "Then enlighten me. What does it look like to you?" Aaron swallowed hard. He could lie, or he could be honest. He chose the latter. "Your movement," he began, forcing his voice steady. "It's incredible. I've studied biomechanics all my life, and the way your muscles adjust to gravity fluctuations, it's like you're listening to the ship. I was trying to figure out how your spinal posture compensates for microdrift." The room went silent again. Renara blinked. Once, slowly. Her color shifted faintly, silver blending into a warmer tone that, as Aaron would later learn, was the Volari equivalent of a blush. "You observe such details from that angle?" she asked, her voice suddenly softer. Aaron nodded helplessly. "It was the only one available, ma'am." A few chuckles rippled through the crew. Renara's expression remained composed, but her glowing eyes betrayed something new. Amusement. Middle, the experiment. The incident might have ended there, but Renara was nothing if not curious. Later that evening, she requested Aaron's presence in the gravity calibration chamber. When he arrived, the chamber's walls shimmered with faint blue light. "You wanted to see me, Commander?" "Yes." She gestured to the console. "You claim to study biomechanics. Then assist me. Our current calibrations are off by 2% in Sector 7. I would like to see how a human perceives gravitational balance." He hesitated. "You mean physically test it?" Renara nodded. "Observation is one thing, Lieutenant. Experience is another." She adjusted the settings. The floor shifted slightly, gravity fluctuating between light and heavy. Aaron stumbled at first. She didn't. Her every motion adjusted fluidly to the shifting pull, her body compensating with instinctive grace. He exhaled. "That's what I meant. You don't fight the gravity. You flow with it." She smiled faintly. "It is not something we think about. It is simply who we are." Aaron grinned. "For humans, it's something we earn the hard way." "Perhaps," she said, "you think too much when you should simply move." He tried again, following her lead. Slowly, awkwardly, he began to adjust his posture with each shift. She guided him gently, hand at his back, correcting his stance. When the simulation ended, both stood in silence, breath slightly uneven. Renara studied him for a moment longer, then said quietly, "You observe deeply, Lieutenant Vale. Most beings look, but you see. Middle, the rumors, and the truth." Word of the gravity lesson spread through the lower decks faster than plasma through a conduit. Soon, everyone on Vera Station had a version of the story, each wilder than the last. By week's end, the tale had become a running joke. The human who stared at the commander and lived. Aaron endured it with good humor, though he noticed Renara often watched him during briefings now, not critically, but curiously. One day, she found him in the repair bay, knee-deep in a malfunctioning stabilizer. "Lieutenant," she said, "you once said humans earn balance the hard way. Tell me, why keep striving? Why not surrender to easier paths?" He glanced up from the wiring. "Because that's not how we grow. Balance isn't about ease. It's about falling and standing again until it feels natural." Renara tilted her head thoughtfully. "You sound Valari when you speak so." He chuckled. "Coming from you, that's a compliment." She smiled, a real one this time. "Perhaps. Or perhaps it is a warning. Those who walk between two worlds must learn both ways." Before he could reply, the ship lurched violently. Alarm screamed. Climax, the breach. A containment field in Sector 7 failed, the same system they'd been calibrating. The gravitational distortions rippled across the station, crushing decks and sending crew tumbling. Aaron grabbed his toolkit and sprinted toward the breach. Renara's voice echoed over comms, calm but urgent. "All personnel evacuate to stabilizer corridors. Engineers to containment core immediately." He arrived to find chaos, collapsed beams, flickering lights, a roaring vortex of magnetic distortion threatening to tear the sector apart. Renara stood at the center, bracing herself against the console, fighting to override the feedback manually. Aaron shouted, "You'll be crushed if you stay there." She didn't move. "If I release control, the field collapses." Without hesitation, he jumped beside her, locking a safety tether around them both. "Then we stabilize it together." They worked in sync, her reading alien systems, him improvising with Terran engineering instincts. Sweat streaked his face. Her hands glowed with strain as she redirected current through the core. A final surge hit. The gravity spiked. Renara lost footing, fell forward, straight into his arms. He caught her, holding her steady as the console exploded in sparks behind them. The system stabilized. Silence followed. Her head rested against his chest, heartbeat rapid but alive. When she finally looked up, her tone was soft, almost teasing. "Still watching my posture, Lieutenant?" He laughed breathlessly. "It's perfect as always, Commander." Her lips curved in a faint, glowing smile, ending the honest answer. Later, when the crisis report was filed and the station restored, Renara found Aaron in the observation deck. Stars drifted lazily beyond the glass, painting their faces in silver light. "You risked your life for me," she said quietly. "I'd do it again," he replied simply. "Humans," she murmured, shaking her head. "Always reckless." "Maybe," he said, "but sometimes reckless saves people." She turned toward him fully, eyes bright. "When I asked you that day why you stared, did you mean your answer?" He nodded. "Every word. You move like the universe made space just for you to exist."